My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. Now, a very interesting take would have taken place last week concerning the removal of a media personnel outside of a conference. For many of you who would have followed the trend on TikTok, the famous host was Mr. Robert Amar, the owner of More 94.7 FM. And let me fast track it a little bit. The argument in which the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Keith Christopher Rowley, would have used to refute the decision that he and his team or whoever might have taken to remove Mr. Robert Amar from the press was, here what going on. It had enough media there. If there is such a thing as freedom of the press, by what number or how much will you be stating in numerical figures that is too much a media? Members of the public, we must be mindful of the kind of nonsense in which people just be using to make a decision to either to put it across, to victimize a person or not. How much media is too much media? Was the building full to its capacity? We know, the public know, and even some of you know, I'm going to tell you today, some of these conferences are handpicked individuals. Understand that all news is not good news. They are reporting what they want to report. Pay attention. Now, we would have done a full entire interview with Mr. Robert Amar, and we are going to post this now. Good evening, Mr. Robert Amar.
Well, good evening to you. I mean, I'm happy to see you attending other independent thinking people's, should I say, policy and procedural meetings, because we have to have what is called broad thinking if we want to fix Trinidad and Tobago. So it's nice to see you here, because I've looked at you on your post and you seem to be a guy that wants to hold people accountable.
Well, I want to mainly ask you about the media situation, because that is something I want to highlight, and I want the people to hear it from you yourself. What went on with that media thing, and I want to highlight this, man.
Well, what I would say to you is that it's short and sweet. The bottom line is, I have a TikTok, which is Amar TT 12345. I think that is it, or TT Amar 12345. I have a TikTok account, and I did a whole series on that particular lockout. I got notice that the Prime Minister was going to have a media conference to deal with this new strain of the COVID. Thought it was important because a lot of people in the Prime Minister's office has lied to the people of Trinidad and Tobago about this whole COVID issue. And this COVID issue, they make it seem as if though it is a serious problem, when in truth and in fact, although it is a problem, there's a solution for it. So I ended up going to the meeting. And at the meeting, the Prime Minister instructed the police officer to have me removed from the diplomatic center. I was inside the center sitting down waiting, and while I was there, a police officer came and used deception by saying to me, "Mr. Amar, something wrong with your car." Now, I have a very good car. My car can't get no trouble, and if it get trouble, I know how to fix it. Because that's my forte. I came from that background. When he said that, I said, well, okay, that's my cue. Now, at that time, I didn't know it was the Prime Minister. But now, with everything unfolding, I can confirm, without any sort of fear or favor of contradiction, that Keith Rowley gave the instruction to have me removed.
All right.
Now, when the guy whispered in my ears, I turned on my phone, and I recorded everything he said from the time I left the compound. Now, mind you, I was invited in allowed in through the front gate. And here's what is worse. I did not even get searched. Imagine there's a prime minister's residence or the diplomatic center that's supposed to be high in security. And the person by the gate just said, "What media house?" I said, "Mo FM." He said, "And who are you?" I said, "Robert Amar." He said, "Where do you normally park?" I said, "Well, they normally park me in the back." He said, "Well, go ahead, sir." I thought I was the prime minister at that time. You understand? So, in a nutshell, after he carried me out and he was speaking, I asked him his name, he gave me all of that. I'll send you the clip. And he in turn walked me to the car. But when we were going to the car, he says, "Where's your car parked?" I said, "You don't know where my car parked? And something wrong with my car?" He says, "Well, I don't know." So then eventually we ended up in a situation where I ended up walking to the car. And then when he found the car, he called a senior officer to come and talk to me, to tell me that they had instructions that because I did not have an invitation. Now, under the Constitution, freedom of the press does not require any invitation. I've been invited to many other government meetings outside of the Ministry of Health. They never invited me. But I have been to the diplomatic center and questioned Keith Rowley. And he had to apologize because he made a mistake.
Well, that is something that we did dig up. When they tell you, let me ask you something. Did he write your apology?
He didn't write me an apology, but the established media houses that he invites to these conferences published on the television that he apologized to me.
Okay.
I did not get anything in writing from him.
All right.
But the bottom line is, since then he have a vendetta for me. And it's unfortunate that a man who uses the Constitution to prove his point with the appointment of the senators or with the appointment of the new president of the Senate or with the situation to deal with COVID or all of these things, didn't use the Constitution to deal with the matter of freedom of the press. And I find him to be very irresponsible. And Trinidad and Tobago, by extension, has also showed that they are not concerned about their freedom, because in the end, they are going to allow Keith Rowley to walk all over them. Those of you who are going out to vote, there is two things I want to tell you. The first thing is, the president of the country cannot talk about independent senators at the stage of the game. She has to be talking about appointed senators by the president, because they are not independent. And the second thing is that when local government comes, it's time for the people to think and understand. It's time to reset the mindset. Go and vote, but spoil the ballot. Because a spoiled ballot will tell third parties or small parties coming up that the country ready for change.
Yes.
If you're not prepared to do that, then as they say, put up or shut up. And my view is time for people to shut up.
Now, members of the public, be mindful of what is taking place. Today is Robert Amar. And in the future, it could be you. When any government is trying to censor the information that they sent out or the public receive, be very careful. It's the same thing that is going on in South Korea and in other parts of the world. There are certain things that is censored to certain areas. Be mindful of what is going on in your surrounding and what is taking place. Stand up for truth and for injustice. This is the Workers' Rights Platform, and my name is Venison Jeffrey, and I am out.